Hey everyone, it's Julie and Tiffany from Where There's Magic, and we're going to talk about the parks opening over this last, about 10 days things have been opening, and just talk about what's been good, what hasn't been good, and what you can kind of do once you get to the parks to make it good for you. As always, remember to like this video and subscribe. We're going to have lots of really fun videos, and they'll be even funner once we get back to the parks, but these are going to be really good too.
Once it opens, we'll get there.
Yeah, so once Disneyland opens, we shall be there ASAP. So we're going to talk about Disney World today and everything that's going on with the opening there. So Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom was one of the first parks opened. They were open on the 11th. Things have actually gone really pretty smoothly with Magic Kingdom opening. They've had pretty low waits for everything. Things have gone pretty smoothly. I know everyone's really liking the cavalcades.
I actually like them better
cavalcades!
I like them better than meeting the characters. You don't have to stand in line to meet one character at a time. You just see them throughout the parks, and I feel like that brings so much more magic and interaction than just, I'm going to stand in line to see my favorite character because I don't have time to see everybody today.
Well, and they've been doing really fun things. So I know this wasn't at Magic Kingdom, but at Epcot. Pooh Bear was out like catching butterflies with a net, and Joy was out skipping in the grass. I mean,
really fun.
You're getting to see them in the wild.
They did have a couple of, I think, trolleys going through with the princesses and things, but they do have people, characters on the countryside just roaming around, and that's been fun.
I think it's super fun. It's a different way to experience the characters, and the characters, from what I understand, are out a lot more than they were before.
And like special characters, like you don't never see Joy.
Yeah, you don't ever see Joy. And there's been like Clarabelle Cow and a few things like that that are like a little bit more of the rare characters that are just out and wandering and adding magic. So I really like that. I think it's great. And with the low wait times on the rides and, you know, everyone kind of keeping their distance, I think it's a good time to go see Magic Kingdom now.
Magic Kingdom's doing really well.
Yes.
That's what we will say about that.
Okay, we're going to move on to Animal Kingdom, which was they opened the same day. Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, both opened on the 11th. Tell us about Animal Kingdom.
So Animal Kingdom, when they first opened, had like 5-minute wait times, which basically means you walk through because it takes you 5 minutes to get to the front of the line. But we're seeing a little bit longer lines now. I think, Flight of Passage had like a 20-minute wait today as opposed to 10.
Yeah, but like 20 minutes for Flight of Passage is still ridiculous short compared to the 2 or 3 hours you used to wait. So it's still great.
Like 5 people in front of you instead of 9. So
exactly.
It's not near as crowded as it has been in the past, and we're really liking those numbers so far.
Yeah, we are liking that. But there is one like drawback because there's not the 2 main shows there. So
for Finding Nemo the musical and Festival of the Lion King aren't going. They're having issues with the actors initiation people.
Actors Equity Union does not want to sign them on to come back yet. So
all the other unions Disney's has been good with so far, but they haven't gotten that one yet.
Yeah, so there is no Finding Nemo the musical, which is my favorite.
It's very
so good. And Festival of the Lion King. So you may find at Animal Kingdom, even though you're like walking on everything and there's the animals to see, there's not quite as much to do.
Yeah, there's not as many rides there anyways, but there is still all of the restaurants and shops and stuff with social distancing and all those things.
Yeah, but I've heard it's beautiful, beautiful day to go there because, you know, you get to go experience everything without, you know, pushing by. And you know what? The cavalcades there are on boats.
That's true.
They're cool. Really They're on boats. How fun is that? Okay, so Epcot and Hollywood Studios opened on the 15th. So they've just been opened a few days now. Epcot opened with a taste of the Food and Wine Festival, which is kind of a pared down version of Food and Wine Festival. But
I think it had some elements of garden too.
Yeah,
it had some flower and garden in there that had just opened right before the shutdown, so they kind of meshed them together.
Exactly. So I think you're going to see some of the topiaries that would have been open for Flower and Garden Festival. And then most of the Food and Wine booths came back, but there were
limited menus.
Yeah, limited menus and a few that didn't come back. But I'm still hearing really good things about the opening of Epcot Food and Wine, which is an earlier opening than usual. And again, low wait times, crowds are pretty spread out. I've heard Living with the Land, that area can get a little congested, but it always does because it's air conditioned and lovely in there.
That's the hot spot.
Well, you go in and it's like hot everywhere in Epcot. You go in Living with the Land and you're like, It feels so good.
It's true.
Beautiful and air conditioned. So as far as like congestion and crowds, that's the only place I'm hearing of. Something else that's cool at Epcot, they have one of the few character dining experiences. There are only 2, and they're before, I can't even tell you how many.
15, 20.
There was a ton. There are only 2 right now that you can experience, and one of them is at Epcot at the Garden Grill in the Living with the Land Pavilion, and that's that restaurant that kind of rotates over Living with the Land, so it kind of goes in a circle, and you have like the rotation, and you can still eat and dine with Mickey and friends. It's not a buffet, but it hasn't been a buffet in the past. It was family style, so they bring it all to your table, family style. Tiff, you haven't been there, but like it's kind of like when you go to Liberty Tree Tavern and they bring all the food family style. It's like that, and then there's characters. But the characters are social distancing, but they're playing around and interacting with the people, and you still get to take your picture with them. They're just a little bit in back of you, so it still kind of works. I'm seeing a lot of fun there.
It's like a photo bomb instead of a
yes.
so
it's like you and your friends and Mickey in the back going photo bombing, exactly. Okay, so let's get to the real hot story of the day, Hollywood Studios.
We were going to add one more thing on Epcot. They have a new rule.
So they have a new rule. That is correct.
We found a loophole that they have now fixed. Is you cannot walk and eat or drink because people have been doing that with their masks off and just like holding a drink or a pretzel and going, look, I'm eating, I'm drinking. I don't have to wear a mask. And Disney's like, yeah, no, okay. No more of that.
So now you have to sit down with your food to take your mask off and eat it, which makes sense for the Food and Wine Festival because people are walking around with food all the time, and basically all of that area would probably be everyone without a mask on. That's probably not gonna work.
Travel and eat, so like they had to make some extra restrictions.
But here's the thing: is they've also put in a lot more places to sit down and eat, which has been one of the problems in the past. Like people were like, finding a spare garbage can and trying to eat over it. So there are more places to grab your food from the different little pavilions and sit down and eat. So that's good. Hollywood Studios.
Talk about Hollywood. Hot mess.
Yes. We're hearing pretty scary reports of Hollywood Studios,
like
y'all.
Downtown Disney, California, scary.
Yeah, okay, for one thing, it's the smallest park, and Disney isn't really offering what their capacity numbers are or how they decided what they were going to be.
We don't know the numbers. We just know they did something wrong.
It is super crowded, y'all. It is more crowded than a normal day at Hollywood Studios right now. The lines are ridiculous long. And so here's the big hot one is they did something new with Rise of the Resistance. You've always had to kind of get a virtual queue for that. And the plan in the past was you were going to get there really, really early with your entire party, and they released all of that virtual queue time right at the beginning of the day, right? As the parks opened, you had to have your phone out and be like, reserve my spot.
And you had a pretty good chance of getting on some dime that day.
Yeah. A fairly decent shot during normal times. That is not the case right now, and people are furious. So that is what we have seen is the regular Disney vloggers we've been watching, even them that have the best attitude and they're so kind and they're like, let me tell you what it's like here. If you want to go on Rise, the plan was to have an opening at 10 a.m., at 1 p.m., and at 4 p.m. For some reason, those 4 p.m. spots, it's not even opening for those. It's like they've gotten rid of all of them by the 10 p.m. and 1 p.m. The 4 p.m. isn't even a possibility. So people were super mad about that. And then all of those spots are gone within, we're not talking minutes, we're talking seconds. We're talking 10 to 15 seconds.
If your phone glitched that morning when you had entered the park, you didn't get on the ride.
Yeah. And the problem with this is, I think people weren't as mad before if they couldn't get on, because with Park Hopper and the ability to just come back another day, even annual pass holders can't just show up another day. You have to have a reservation, and you have to go through and cancel your reservation for Animal Kingdom, hope that there's a reservation available for Hollywood Studios,
and
which
then
there isn't.
And there's still no hope.
Yeah, and there are no reservations for Hollywood Studios for the next 2 or 3 weeks, guys. It is completely packed solid. So it is.
They packed it, and then they packed it way too much.
Yeah, it's running at capacity right now. Our argument is maybe they have capacity a little too high. because really you're not getting on Rise of the Resistance unless you're really super lucky, like winning the lottery there.
And it's an hour wait for Tower of Terror and things like that, where the other parks have like 10 20-minute waits
well,
for the longest rides.
The vlog I was watching the other day, the guy got a pass for Rise of the Resistance. He ended up waiting in line for an hour and a half after he got his reservation time, and they got called, and then the ride broke down. So, you know, Hollywood Studios is a little bit of a mess right now, and
it's not doing so well.
Magical, happy people that are at all the other parks, once they get to Hollywood Studios, they're pretty grumpy. Like, we're hearing lots of like swearing and screaming, and like
customer service lines are longer than Tower of Terror.
Huge lines to go talk to a cast member, and a lot of it has to do with the capacity in the parks, the not being able to get on Rise at all. And so
the newest ride they have, and it's not going very well because everyone wants to ride it and nobody can.
Yeah, so if you're one of those people that's a little nervous about lots of people right now, and you have never been on Rise of the Resistance and you're thinking, I'm going to get on it for sure this trip,
you might wait.
Maybe adjust your expectations and wait things out a little bit. Choose a different park, because it's been really pretty crowded, and the streets are more narrow there. There's not as many rides. And without the entertainment pieces, like in the past, we would have had the Indiana Jones show or some of those other shows to kind of help the people at the park really have something other to do than do just the few rides that are there. And none of that entertainment pieces are going at all. So really, you might think twice about Hollywood Studios. The rest of the parks seem to be doing really, really well.
They seem to be doing well. They were a little bit more busy than we saw right at opening, but I think they're just fine right now.
Yeah. Like, you can social distance. People are doing really well. They're magical. People are pretty happy.
There's new things to explore in most of the parks.
I know, but Hollywood Studios has a couple of the new rides because they have Runaway.
Oh yeah, they have Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Yeah, so Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway has also had like 45-minute to an hour long waits. So when you're trying to social distance and you have a mask on and you're already grumpy about not getting on Rise and you have to wait 45 minutes or an hour to get on the other new ride in the park, which is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
And then there's nothing else to do in the park.
Yeah, and there's only a few other rides. It leads to feeling a little more grumpy than some of the other places. I'm seeing it's not quite as magical. That's what I'm saying. And you can make your own decisions. If you're like, I'm really willing to risk it because I like the other rides there anyway, and I'll wait a little bit for Mickey and
Minnie's.
Minnie's.
You're an annual pass holder and you've got nothing else to do.
And you know you're going to come back, then you should go. If this is like your once in a lifetime, your only chance to get on Rise of the Resistance, I wait things out a hot minute.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I think things are going to die down. There was like so much pent up need to go to the parks that like all of those people are going
crazy still.
Yeah, all of those people are going really quick. And once that first rush comes through, I'm kind of thinking it's going to die back down a bit because you still can't travel from like New York area. You still can't travel internationally. There's still a lot of people super concerned about getting sick. So I really think once this rush of hurrying get that Disney fix in,
how long that will be will depend on if they can fix a couple of glitches. Because if there's still those glitches, people are going to keep pushing it until they get on the ride.
Yeah, that is definitely true. So anyway, that is our report on what it's like back at the parks right now. It's been open long enough for us to kind of see how it's going. Most of the parks are really, really good. And then we have just a little bit of it's a little rough at Hollywood Studios. So
some time in Disney Springs if Hollywood Studios is giving you a nightmare.
Definitely go back to your hotel, take a swim. You can do that without a mask. That's nice and refreshing. Get back and face Hollywood Studios again. We can't wait to get back to the parks. We're hoping to get there soon. I hope you guys are having a magical day. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel, and we will see you guys later.
See ya.